typie for ma banquole.
Actually, my name's Ryan. I'm here with John Reynolds. We're at Amore Italian Restaurant in Snyder, Texas.
I'm John Reynolds. I was born in Austin, Texas, raised in Abilene. I was the youngest of 4 brothers. One's no longer with us, but those guys are the ones that taught me how to be funny. And once I moved, on with my life forward with children and things like that, I decided I was a little funnier than most people do, so I decided to do comedy. Now I'm here, military veteran, and doing a show at an Italian restaurant and going to make some people laugh.
Huh? It's like, have you ever had a kid wake up at the edge of your bed? They both have. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm here with Crawford. We're at Amore's Italian Restaurant in Snyder, Texas.
Born in St. Louis, Missouri. I grew up in a small town called Carruthersville, Missouri. There wasn't a whole lot of future in it for me there. I had I didn't have scholarships. I didn't have a lot of money, so I joined the military to provide myself a future and guaranteed employment. Now, turns out I really liked the military enough that I stuck around for 20 years. Towards the end of my career, I had a chance to start becoming an instructor where I learned how to do public speaking, and at that point I took an interest in doing stand-up comedy. Did stand-up comedy as far away from that town as I could, and I brought it back to that town, and kind of grassroots movement built a scene, and at the same time built my own experience and cut my teeth, and now I get to do it on a regular basis, traveling to cities all over Texas.
But no, everybody gets road rage. It is true. You don't have to admit it. But I'll tell you, I recently learned something about myself. I'm pretty tolerant of other drivers. What gets under my skin, what gives me road rage, are the people in my own car.
Here with Mike, Triple M. We're at Amore's Italian Restaurant in Snyder, Texas.
Es Amore. My name is Michael Zaragoza. I don't like saying it too much because they think like I know Spanish when I say it like that. So it's Zaragoza. That's what it is. I'm from Corpus Christi, Texas. I think I'm 39 years old. I have a lot of kids, and they made me these gray hairs on my beard. I started comedy, actually, I just got my my second, memory on YouTube for my second year. So actually that's during COVID, so I've been doing it like maybe a year and a half, maybe a year and some months. And I have now created Loudmouth Entertainment. In about a month, there's gonna be a Junior Loudmouth Entertainment. I like to be loud because growing up, they always said that the people who were loud were the ones who were weak. And they always said, oh, they're loud, they ain't about shit. Watch out for the quiet ones. Fuck that. I yell really loud because I can back it up. You ever seen a chihuahua? Chihuahua. Watch them on the bike ankles and shit. But your back hurts, you know what I'm saying? The cow goes moo. Right? But give it 2 fucking months later. The cow goes.
Hi, I am Marvin Morrell from Snyder, Texas. I am 54 years old, been doing comedy magic for over 30 years. I was born not far from here in a little city called Colorado City, Texas. I am divorced with a couple of kids. I play bad golf regularly. And most importantly, I just love to make people smile and laugh.
So, it wasn't easy. Yeah, I got kicked out of Weight Watchers for making sarcastic comments.
So the first show that I've ever been to was with Tony Castillas, and I saw him up on stage. I saw he was the center of attention. He's up there murdering, and it really inspired me to kind of chase that dream that I'd been scared of already. So I did my first open mic about 3 weeks later. And I told a lovely story about how I got almost assaulted by a giant man in a way that I did not want to be. And it went over so well. My wife was crying. She was like, you're meant to do this. And that's all the check marks I needed to say, hey, I'm going to go for this. So
My first open mic was actually in Austin, Texas, at a place called Austin Java. I went there because I needed to get away, as far away from my home crowd as possible, because I did not want to be in front of anybody that I would be facing the next day or anytime soon. If I was to do bad, I didn't want it rubbed in my face. However, it turned out it went okay. In fact, I got hooked on it, and I brought it. Went back to San Angelo, and I wanted more of it, so I started having open mics there and started pushing comedy in my hometown of San Angelo.
Well, see, when I first started comedy, I was told multiple times that I was funny, that I should try stand up, but I never really listened to it. And then I had two people that I trusted their word very much that to learn how to write. Because it's one thing, I'm a barber too, so cutting up in the barber shop is one thing to have all day to come up with a punchline or whatever, compared to having a certain amount of time and having to punchline every 16 to 18 seconds, But at the end of that, on our graduation, we had a show that we did too. This was at Dallas Comedy House that it's no longer there. But so I did the classes. At the end, I got to go on stage, and it was very nerve-wracking. Yes. And I'm the only one out of the class that kept going.
My very first show, I was 15 years old, and I did the birthday party of a friend of mine's. And it was a great experience for me. It was unlike anything I'd ever really done up until that point. I was very active in choir and drama and theater going through school, but I found that doing this just seemed more worthwhile and something that I could excel in much more.
Oh, dude, I'm nervous right now. What are you talking about? Shoot. No, I think it's it's one of those things, the fight or flight response, and I'm too fat to run, so I have no choice. But when I get on stage, I have to stand up there and fight. I used to be a fighter, so mixed martial arts kind of gave me the temperament to be able to handle, somebody one-on-one, because it's you against the crowd. I don't care what anybody says. But most of all, you got to get over it being you against yourself first. And I kind of figured that out, but, I'm still learning, still moving, and just working to get better, really.
All right. No, primarily I get nervous early in the week. I know exactly where I'm going. I usually have some idea of the type of audience I think is going to be there, and I work really hard all week long. And I feel like on day of, if I worked hard enough, then I've earned the right to do well. And I think of it, if I have nervous energy, it's very much like taking a test. You study hard for the test. You know what you're doing. You know what you intend to do. You know everything that you're supposed to do. All you have to do is do it. So I think that I get nervous early in the week and try to make sure that I study really hard for the test. And then on the actual show, that's the test. Hopefully I get an A, but I know that I've earned it.
Nah, man, I do get nervous. I have to do like a power stance, or get like the negative energy off of me. So I do a lot of different things for stress relief. But I have a friend that she's very, very like powerful with the energy thing. So whenever she's there and I'm feeling bad or like nervous to go up, we hug each other and we have a long embrace, and then dude, it's crazy how the negative energy goes away, and I just go kill it.
Well, I've been doing this for over 30 years, so the answer to that is, of course, yes. We all get nervous right before we go on stage. Anybody that says differently, I think they're lying to you. I don't think it's nervous so much as it's just that nervous energy. It's just that split second before the lights hit you and the mics come on and the applause dies down, where we have to just take a deep breath and dive right in.
Growing up in my household, my dad used to play vinyls all the time. We had Richard Pryor, Cheech and Chong, Sam Kinison. Like, I'm talking all the great comedic gold that you would possibly, like, you couldn't even show on TV nowadays since everybody's so sensitive. All that stuff was given to me and showed to me as a kid, and it's just, I don't know, performing things like that is really what got me into comedy, but also that real heavy root and just making people laugh gives you positive attention versus making people mad giving you negative attention. So that's what got me in comedy. I credited a lot of it to my father.
All right, I moved to San Angelo, Texas, where I became a military instructor. I'd never done any public speaking, and I was learning how to do that in the case for the sake of teaching students. I teach about 16 people a day, all day, every day. At the end of the week, I'd have a chance to talk to 200 at a time, giving them a safety brief. And you try to make, a lot of times, mundane or boring information as interesting as you can to create vivid effects so that they'll remember it. And I found myself joking around and doing an awful lot of that. I had recently read a book by, can I say the name? Howie Mandel. I read Howie Mandel's book, and I really wanted to give it a shot. And sure enough, the first chance I got, I went to Austin and gave it a shot.
Well, as a magician, I got tired of carrying 6 different suitcases with me. So I don't do as much magic as I used to. So I really enjoy being able to do more stand-up because I've not really had a chance to do that as much as I would like with what I do. And plus, it's a lot easier to pack. So have Michael travel, and that pretty much is all I have to bring with me by doing so.
No, a typical week for me, because I put on comedy productions as well. I'm a welder by trade, so I work at least 40 hours to 60 hours a week, and that bleeds over a lot into my family life. And I will say, most women that are married to a man in comedy probably couldn't handle it, and I'm glad that I was able to get somebody who's such a strong person and basically a rock, and keeps pushing me into the direction of my dreams, because comedy is my dream. And I weld because I have to. I do comedy because I want to, and my whole family supports me. It's a struggle sometimes, I'm not gonna lie. It's not always rainbows and sunshine, but at the end of the day, we're all kind of working towards the same goal, and everybody kind of gets it. I'm a weirdo. I got to do this stuff, or I'm gonna do it at family reunions and stuff. So
Actually, I am married and I have 4 kids. I have a full-time job, so I would say that I try to remember that comedy is second in my life. But for the most part, I do everything I can to be as normal of a dad as I can be, and then I break off and I go and I rehearse in my own little studio, or the room that I have set aside to do so, and try to impact them as little as possible. As far as scheduling events, if they have a swim meet, they have a football game, they have anything I need to address, then they're first. That's it. So I schedule my comedy around my family.
Oh man, well, at the beginning, I would do 3 mics a night, 5 nights a week, and they're overnight. I would drive from one place to the other place, and sometimes there was like an hour difference in between, and then I'd be out all night. But besides that, I got in real good with some of the venue owners and some of the big comics, and so we would be at the club even when it's closed down at 2. I'd be there at 7 o'clock in the morning, chilling with them. Networking is the biggest part of it. Network. I highly believe in that, but it affected my family to the point where I got a divorce.
Well, my kids are grown and no wife or girlfriend to speak of, so my week doesn't affect it particularly. I'm on the phone or on emails at least an hour or 2 a day. If I'm not doing that, I'm writing or I'm reading, I'm researching, whatever I can do to hone my craft, to excel at my craft, and to move forward with it. So a typical week, that's kind of what I do in between working and playing lots of bad golf.
First time I ever met Amy, it was at Hyenas Comedy Club. It was my first time playing Hyenas, and I'm a little starstruck looking at everything. And she was, I don't believe she was producing. She was there. She had a booth, and it was for suicide prevention. And that year, I actually lost like 3 friends, whether it was overdose or suicide. So, and I've lost a lot of friends. So me and her we clicked on that little point right there, and. Me being the, what they call nervous Nancy, I was over there, blowing her ear up, talking about comedy and things like that. She was super sweet, super amazing. And now we're doing shows to this day, and that was almost, 7-8 months ago.
Now I met Amy at an event. She was actually producing a show, and I thought that she was really quiet. I thought that she was an extrovert. No, I'm sorry, an introvert, an extreme introvert, because 100% was on the focus. She turned a restaurant into what looked like a comedy club, and it really impressed me as far as just knowing how to change a room and change an environment to ensure that the comics had the best shot at success. So I think that the ability to flip a room and the knowledge of how to set up a show is what was showcased, and I felt like I said, was very introverted. There was not a whole lot of BSing going around. It was, we are down to business. This is what we do, and let's get ready for a show.
I met Amy. She had actually hired me one day out of the blue, and it's crazy because she hired me for a certain venue, Chocolate Lounge. I was a headliner. Real shit, I love the fact that she's uncomfortable holding that mic right now, and I'm trying to talk as much as I can so she can hold that up, and you know, so gets tired. But no, Amy's good people, man, for real. That's why I keep fucking with her. You know, and it's hard. It's hard. No, it's hard for real. It's hard in the comedy scene because it seems at first everybody's cool, and then it's cutthroat. You know what I'm saying? It's fucking cutthroat. You know, they come for you when you're doing good. If you're on the same level, all right, they're cool. But once they see you excelling, or once you start getting your own LLCs and your trademarks and all that, then they fucking cutthroat, man.
Amy and I became acquaintances through my older sister, who is an actress who is doing lots and lots of projects just all over the place. And her and Amy's path crossed, I guess, more than once or twice doing things out of the Metroplex area. So they had a really good working relationship. And my sister said that I should try to get in touch with her, and I got in touch with her. And we've been in touch since then. And we've had the opportunity to do several projects together now, and with many more to come. My first impression was a very relentless woman, somebody who was very focused and very career-driven, who was taking the steps to move the next step of whatever that may be in her life, whether film, stand-up, acting, writing, producing, whatever that is. So she's got a very clear vision of where she wants to go, and I think that's cool when you know where your long-range plans are, where your destination and your destiny, or where you feel like your destiny lies.
Never change who you are. They try to dim me down quite a few times, you know, loudmouth. So that's what I changed my company to, loudmouth, you know, to show them that you're not gonna shut me down. But I do like I said, I'm vicious, I'm not malicious.
The single most important thing you can do is never, ever, ever compare yourself to somebody else. The only thing that we try to accomplish singularly is just to make people laugh. And it's really that simple. So it doesn't matter, you know, for me, you're above me, below me, right with me. It doesn't matter. As far as I'm concerned, everybody is with me. We're bringing something that nobody else can.
Ourselves.
To a weak and weary world. And for why we do this is pretty simple. It's not just to make it worthwhile. I say I'm a liar, a thief, and a cheat. But the truth of it is, I am just a guy trying to help other people forget whatever's going on in their lives for 90 minutes, or however long the show goes. And that's all of us.
Yeah, he just took like the Golden Globe or the Oscar or whatever and people hand out. I think number one, I'm going to touch on what he said for a second, because last Saturday I was in Brownwood and we did a show and I was standing in the back and someone came to me and said, she said to me before I went up, it's so good you guys are here. That table up there with the 13 people, it's like they lost somebody on Tuesday. They really, to see them smile and see them laugh, this is really what they needed tonight.
Get on stage. That is the advice I'd give you, and that's what I'd give you. And if you don't have a stage, do what I did. Make your own fucking stages.
Oh yeah.
I don't necessarily practice my jokes all the time. I like fucking with people. Like, oh, Sonic the Hedgehog over here.
Yep.
No matter what you do, you're always going to be forgotten at least once or twice in your life. And then, like me, myself, I'm from Abilene, Texas, with 120,000 fucking people in it. I had to start my own comedy shows just so I can have a stage to stand on.
Yeah.
And every now and then, I get looked over, I get forgotten. But guess what? The thing about that is, don't get bitter. Because the only person in this world in comedy is going to tell you no is you. Y'all stupid as shit. Man, look, he going through a fucking white woman's purse.
Yeah,
I'm a white man. I know the rules. You ain't supposed to do that shit.
but
That's how you win.
But you're not real white because your head's backwards.
All right, but this is what I know. This is a white woman with a purse. She's probably married to a white man, and she needed something that was long-lasting.
Oh, so pretty. I feel pretty and witty and gay.
And I pity any girl who's
It's medical. I've seen a man with that up his nose.
Let's see what it does. How many of these you got? Yeah, here, let me get some.
Never volunteer.
Oh shit, it's bubble gum.